Craven kills Simba from The Lion King. Legit, he calls the lion Simba, so I had to Google it, and yeah, the word Simba actually means lion in an African language. Which one? I don't know, didn't tell me. So yeah, the Lion King. My whole life has been a lie, but Craven actually lets the poor lion live, for he has only one opponent in mind, Spider-Man. And he will not rest till he has Spider-Man's mask on the wall.
They were selling Spider-Man masks in another issue. Why doesn't he just buy one and give up the shenanigans?
Because honor, that's why, and pride, and for freshly made bacon and eggs on toast or something, I don't know. Elsewhere, things are looking up for Pete. Evil Overlord May is recovering and Pete is back to studying. Speaking of, in Chem Lab, Harry has still been a bit of a jerk and bitter over Pete's snub, while Gwen feels a little bit guilty about her own actions, but the news hits Pete. Spider-Man just threatened J. Jonah Jameson. Not a bad thing, but Pete's like, hey, that's not me. I'm me, and goes out swinging. Craven finds him and sprays him with jungle juju.
Is that the technical term?
Yes, shut up. But it cancels out his spider sense. Craven says that if Spider-Man can defeat him, he will admit it was he who harassed Jameson. Spider-Man fades back, but a wall almost falls on him. Craven's booby-trapped the building. Spidey enters inside, but meanwhile, the crooks inside are also on the case and out for old Spidey, but he quickly takes care of them. Spidey swings inside from a window. Craven tackles him. They trade blows. Spidey fires back with both punches and quips. It only makes Craven angrier and he slams Spidey into a massive double fister. Don't go there. Our hero remains unfazed and returns an uppercut. More blows it. Craven even asks, why don't you go down? What are you made of? Spidey follows with 3 blows and later the police find Craven and the hoodlums wormed up together in a neat little package. Later, in front of Jameson, and much to the newspaper man's dismay, all due respect to Craven, he admits it was him who harassed Triple J, and Spider-Man's name is once again cleared. Overall, kind of a derivative issue, nothing special but seriously nothing wrong with it. If I ever see an impersonation plot again, it will be too soon, but unfortunately I feel we're bound to be in for a few. I never really got the Craven stick. He talks about honour and the hunt, but I think the fact that he uses paralysing agents, jungle juju and traps really diminishes this so-called honour. But hey, that's just me. But yeah, the word Simba actually means lion. Mind blowing. Issue 35, The Molten Man returns. Oh wait, the Molten Man regrets. But still, it's not that long ago we saw Mark Raxton, aka Goldie Boy, but then again his story was a little overshadowed by Pete's graduation, but still it's quite a surprise that he's back already. Well, he's in jail and the judge wants to meet him. Turns out he gets off because he was under duress from a traumatic experience, i.e. the experiment that went wrong that caused him. And we're going to let the crazy man who can bend steel beams and punch concrete go because, well, I was going to say the 616 justice system, but this reads pretty spot on with our own justice system today, so there you go.
It pays to be digital.
Yeah, but I can delete you anytime I want. Elsewhere, a man in a green suit is buying gems, but he only wants the best. Why? So the vendor can unlock the top gem safe, and as soon as he does, old green suit goes to rob the safe. The vendor is like, hey, back off buddy, and shoots green suit, who only doesn't feel it, but breaks the gun with his bare hands. That store's in luck. Spidey heard it and swings in. Green suit gives himself up, and when Spidey relaxes, he slugs him one, twice, 3 times he hits him, stunning Spidey and keeping him off balance as he escapes into the back alleys. Later, in Green Suit's apartment, he removes his face. It's a mask, of course, and underneath, well, I mean, you guessed it, it's the Molten Man. No big surprise there. Meanwhile, Spidey has already put 2 and 2 together. I mean, how many humans can punch like they have an iron fist? Except, Iron Fist. But that's not the point. Fortunately, Pete remembers where Raxton's apartment is. He sees a green suit in the apartment and hitches a spider tracer to it. He follows as the Molten Man hits the street, then finds a place to change into his disguise. His instincts were right. The Molten Man is the perp from earlier. Sure enough, The dude the judge let out on the street is busy trying to crack a safe. Come on, man. Old Pete's worried about studying for exam and you're getting up to these shenanigans. The fight is brutal, or perhaps the writer just wanted to extend the issue because they exchange blow after blow for like a page and a half without dialogue. The Molten Man gets Spidey in a bear hug. Spidey flips up onto the roof and Goldie Boy slides off.
I mean, really, shouldn't his weight drop both of them to the floor?
I said Goldie Boy drops off and then runs, despite kicking butt for most of the fight.
Coward!
Well, here's a little yeller. Get it? Get it?
Bah!
Well, the coward may be strong, but Spider-Man is fast and he cuts him off, and he's had time to make those web ropes he used last time, and sure enough, after a brief struggle, he's tied up the Molten Man.
Is that allowed? I mean, that's how he beat him last time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little cheap. As a reader, you're definitely left wanting for a new experience, and you don't get that here. The police show up. The Molten Man proclaims his innocence, but old Spidey slips them a photo of him removing his mask. Sorry, buddy, I don't think the judge is going to be that lenient this time. Pete pops into the Bugle to sell his photo. Wait, who's this? That's not Betty. Turns out she left to the West Coast, as did Ned Leeds. You know what I mean. Pete's heart sinks as he hands the secretary the photos. He's not concerned about the checks. Jameson can send it to him in the mail. He just needs to be alone. Festa, Norton Festa. Norton Festa wants to unlock the secrets of the universe. He travels the world, finding down meteors in the hope he can be the first to do so. He finds one. He needs money to study it. Of course, no one will give it to him. So of course, he safely tries to crack it open himself. And of course, there's some space gas inside. And then of course, he gets exposed to it. And then of course, it gives him superpowers. So of course, he's this issue's villain.
Of course.
Of course. You know, power really does corrupt. I mean, he was for sure a nice guy until those jerks wouldn't give him money. Elsewhere, Pete's at college and finally settling in, though he's starting to feel a bit on the outer because, you know, he was busy with evil Overlord May and being Spider-Man, so he tries to work his way into some friend groups. But friend groups have already formed. A friend of Gwen Stacy invites him to a party, and at first he's like, oh yeah, and she's like, cool, I'm sick of all these jocks. And Pete's like, well, now, I'm not sure I want to go, because he totally doesn't want to be the resident geek. And then she gets all mad at him, reneging on him saying he's going to go. It's a weird interaction. I feel people in comics have way too much pride. Why can't they accurately draw them to be more downtrodden and nervous like the rest of us? But anyways, moving forward, Pete wants to go to the space exhibit that's in town, totally proving that he is a big nerd. And who else is there but Gwen Stacy, who tries to get his attention. You know, just the fact that Gwen is at the space exhibit kind of makes her insanely more hotter, if you know what I mean.
I don't.
Neither do I. I can't explain it. Maybe I'm into nerdy chicks, but who interrupts? The looter. It's the guy who got hit by space gas from the meteor, alright? He's calling himself the looter because, you know, he steals things and there's another meteor in the museum that he wants.
Shucks. Highbrow naming right there.
Peter's all like, I'm out of here, and Gwen is all like super shocked at his cowardice, but she forgets about Pete as Spider-Man enters to save the day. He and the looter duck and jive around Priceless Artifact. Spider's doing his best Jackie Chan expression. As he saves a vase, but as Spidey seems to have the looter, he gets hit with a dazzle gun. Spider-Man is blinded and the looter has disappeared. Yes, he called it a dazzle gun. Later, Pete sees Gwen and she's all like, humph, you're not a real man, you big scaredy pants. Later at college, Flash is like, hey Pete, go long. And Gwen is like, pfft. The only thing long is his yellow streak on his back. Okay, she didn't actually say that, but it fits right. And Flash is all like, hey yeah, you're hot and you hate Peter Parker. ticks all my boxes.
Lord, we should have left him back in the high school issues.
But Pete's got other things on his mind. He stakes out the museum knowing that the looter will return, and he does. He really wants that meteor. The looter, though, is like, not this guy again. Nope, I'm out of here. Getaway method, despite being superpowered, is releasing his own hot air balloon. but Spider-Man is like, dude, I fought the Vulture and have just been to a space exhibit. Fisticuffs in the air, it is. A few what for, and the looter is out cold and ready for the police. So overall, not much to review in these issues. They're all probably what I would call run-of-the-mill. It's not like they're bad or anything, but coming off a string of really great issues, you do notice a difference. The B-plot with Pete still feels far superior here, though it's sparser in nature, and I guess the biggest problem with Gwen Stacy for me is that I know where the story is heading, but I could definitely understand a reader wanting to know more and things to start moving a little bit faster as the issues progress. Having read some issues before, it's also noticeable that Harry Osborn is really only in a few panels in the last few issues. I wonder when he'll pop up again. Hey, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this approach, please like and subscribe for more videos. And remember, if you're interested in reading the full story, the easiest way is to sign up to Marvel Unlimited at marvel.com/unlimited. I need to breathe.